Hello and welcome to Libra New Moon Activation. I'm Adrienne Elise. This is another powerful lunation period as we have a stellium of planets together, but in two different signs. We have this powerful Libra energy. Venus has come into Libra, and we also have the Sun and the Moon in Libra. And we have Mercury has moved into Scorpio and hanging out there with Jupiter. So we have Jupiter and Mercury together and the Sun and the Moon in Libra, real close to each other, but in different signs. So we have a whole bunch of this Libra energy and we have a whole bunch of Scorpio energy. Now, also these are making some, we'll just talk about the powerful aspects for a minute. The Sun and the Moon and Mercury all very much close to an opposition with Uranus. And this is really potent because Jupiter's just coming out of its direct opposition with Uranus. That's been happening. This is like what the 2017 astrology is about. And so now Jupiter has moved into a new sign of Scorpio, and all these planets, one by one, first the Moon, or Mercury right now, and the Moon, and then Sun, and then Venus, and then eventually Mars will come up with this Jupiter in Scorpio activating this period of time that we're in. So Jupiter is in a sign for about a year. And so this next year is being activated, these personal planets coming through one by one, and they're visiting the opposition to Uranus and then coming into a conjunction with Jupiter. So what is this about? All these planets opposing Uranus right now. And Uranus is the awakener. It's coming to the end. It's retrograde right now, but it's coming to generally into the end of the degrees of Aries, getting ready to move into Taurus. So in Aries, Uranus it's been here for quite a while, and it's about a revolution of the self. Aries is the self. It's the first sign of the zodiac, the birth, the conception, the inception, and the incarnation of life. And so we're looking at our deep, true identity as humans. And Uranus is the awakener. It brings higher information, higher knowledge, lightning fast communication. And so this is a time, and we've been having lots of Uranus aspects. So we've been saying this all year long, but it's a time to be open to the messages coming in, especially Libra with the Sun and the Moon, and Venus is now in Libra, in an air sign, because air signs are about communication. And so we're really open to not just communication, but our understanding of our belief systems. And so it's open to some massive adjustments in a perspective, a change of perspective in our life right now. So that's what this new moon is about. It's about, whoa, I thought that I was heading this way, or I thought this was best for me, or just a total reevaluation of what's going on in life, and a deeper understanding of the pictures behind it and some clarity. So it's interesting because Libra is kind of like, it's a communication and it's relationships, it's relating to other people, but it's kind of on a surface level. Scorpio represents deep, deep, intimate connection. So there's a desire right now to have more connection in our community, in our intimate relationships, to connection to spirit, connection to self, connection to creativity, as Jupiter's moved into Scorpio. So it's like, whoa, we're like delving into this depth, because Jupiter expands whatever it comes into contact with. And so it's expanding the shadow, it's expanding our sexual energy. It's expanding all of the places of darkness where we didn't want to look, but it's also kind of expanding our desire for connection, for just our deep values around why we're here on the planet, and our connection to spirit, our connection to source, our connection to something. So it's a really, we're just feeling this interesting juxtaposition of energies with Libra energy around relationships, and then this desire to go deeper. All up on the other side of the zodiac from that, Uranus, the awakener in Aries, going, wait a minute, you guys, like, who are we? How can we form relationships? How can we go deeper when we don't really know who we really are? And so that's a lot of this shift in perspective. It's this Uranus awakener, lightning bolt energy coming in and saying, hey, wake up to the greater truth. It's time to wake up to the greater truth. But the greater truth of who we are is masked and hidden by the shadow. And so it's a perfectly appropriate Halloween. This Halloween is going to be rather Halloweeny because we've got all of these planets. The sun will have moved in. So the sun, Mercury, and Jupiter all together there in Scorpio, kind of qualifying and quantifying and understanding what it means to us personally, this journey into the underworld that Jupiter's making here for this next year. So it's a great time during this activation and in these weeks to come to take time to meditate and be present with the larger, bigger truths that are trying to come into your world. That's what's really going on. And it's really cool when you can come to those realizations, but how often do we come to those realizations without kind of having to look at what's not working, or having to look at the shadow, or having to go underneath what we thought was true? So that's the process that's really going on right now. But with this Scorpio being a fixed sign, it's really about what we really care about and the truth of who we really are, and wanting to go deep into these places and get to our core essence and experience really living. So it's a potent and powerful time for humanity right now. And this Libra new moon is kind of like pushing us off into this next chapter of relating in a new and different way based on the truth that's underneath the shadow within us. And we've done so much shadow work over the last 4 or 5 years, visiting it with Jupiter, the bringer of light, the bringer of awareness, the widening, the expansiveness, and opening up to new possibilities in the shadow sign of Scorpio. And so it's Jupiter is a planet of luck. And in Scorpio, it's about, okay, how can we make our shadow work for us? And so it's this year is a lot of initiation of healers. And so the information coming through right now has a lot to do with you, like your true path, and how to orient your life in that direction. So that'll be a focus of the activation today as we move into the meditation, kind of taking this minute to let that higher wisdom come in and do this adjustment around our deeper truths. So the thing that is also going on right now is that Mars is still in Virgo, opposing Chiron. And so this has been a lot of this kind of squeezing tension energy, because Mars is our action planet, and not that excited in Virgo, because Virgo is like, now wait a minute, let's get it all right. Let's go through the numbers. Let's get to the truth of things. Let's organize. And so it's like all this organizational stuff has to happen before we can actually move forward. The organizational cleaning up that we're doing is this opposition with Chiron, and our action planet, the part of us that wants to move and feel like we're going somewhere, is having this opposition with Chiron, the wounded healer. So it's interesting delving into the shadow and then having this highlighted aspect. Now, with Mars opposing Chiron, we're looking at the wounds of the masculine. We all have masculine and feminine within us, no matter what body we have. So where are we wounded in our ability to act? Where are we wounded in our ability to protect ourselves, to stand up for who we really are? And so it's an interesting time right now as we explore what is keeping us from taking action in our life. What are the core wounds, the belief systems? And then Mercury wants to change these belief systems. It says, oh, let's Let's just rewrite the story. Let's understand in a new way. And then, so Mercury and Uranus being highlighted like this in opposition to each other is kind of like higher understanding and regular everyday coming together, being like, okay, let's sort this out. Let's make some sense of this stuff. And the sense of that we're making is, where are we wounded in our ability to really actualize ourselves in this world? And what are our core wounds that are keeping ourselves from feeling like we deserve to put forward our energy in this world? And then what is the shadow aspects, that the mask that's been hiding this from us? And so, of course, with the sun and the moon in Libra, we're really looking at relationships. And then Scorpio also rules relationships, but deep, intimate relationships. And so we're kind of getting in on all sides right now. And a cool thing, message that's been coming through in recent sessions, individual sessions, consider one if you're looking for support on this journey. There is support for you to clear away these masks and move forward in a brand new way, lighten the load of all the stuff you've been carrying, sort out what is going on, get underneath the truth in your astral field and start feeling better and lighter. But as we are moving into this energy of this awakening type of energy, one of the messages that's coming through right now is that we think sometimes the way we figure things out is to study or to research online, or to maybe find out things through books or things like that. But the real message right now around the way that the information, the path, our path is coming to us is actually through other people. So this is interesting, completing a year of Jupiter in Libra around relationships and then moving into this deepening, this deeper intimacy. So this is going to cause you to want real authenticity in your life, which I think is good. The planet could use some of that right now. And it's a really great time, this Jupiter and all the stuff happening right now. It's kind of like, what's a real relationship? What's a fake relationship? And like, go ahead and just sort out and clear away all the distractions of life, so that you can really put your energy into what's really serving you. And so soulmate relationships are happening right now. People are showing up in each other's lives. These are soul groups that have been blocked from each other because the light workers have a whole bunch of programming around keeping separate. And that if they come together, they're more of a target. And so there's a lot of energy around these light workers trying to do the work of the light worker all by themselves in their own little paradigm world. And that's what's changing. And that's a powerful shift, because when these soulmate people show up into your life, this isn't just partners, intimate partners, of friendships and coworkers and, you know, people that you just know in your life. But when these people show up and they have a very similar story to you, but you've never really known very many people who have this same type of kind of past life pattern, it has this effect of really validating on a deep level the truth of who you are, in a way that maybe your parents, the generation ahead of you, wasn't able to validate you as a soul spirit. So it's a really potent, powerful time. And so be open to the communication of the people around you, of opening up lines of these soul people. So the soulmates are a group of people that's very similar to, and we've planned to work together as a team, but we're all separated out. And so a lot of the times you're stuck in karmic relationships or karmic situations, and the karma means a contractual arrangement, feeling like you owe people. Now, when you have a group contract, which is something that can be cleared in a session with me, this is like a group contract with people who, from past life, that you feel responsible for. This is a big thing that's going on with the indigo souls and the crystals right now, is that if there's a soul group on the planet, or maybe the whole planet, you feel responsible for, you're having a really hard time letting go of this energy in your field. So like heavy energy, feeling like you wish you could help people. And that is because we're having this timeline split kind of going on, where people are choosing if they want to continue in the trauma timelines or choosing if they want to raise their vibration. So those of us who are ready to raise our vibration are letting go of our karmic ties of feeling responsible for other souls. It's really kind of a deeply esoteric, confusing time. But it's a huge opportunity to go back into the old stories of your past lives and into that shadow work and uncover this feelings of, why do you feel guilty? Why do you feel programmed to feel responsible for these other souls? Because ultimately what's going on right now is we're kicking into the evolutionary paradigm and of our species, and that means that we all have to take a hold of our individual path. As much as the shamans are coming and getting activated, the healers are getting activated this year, stepping into their role as healers, it's not our job to save someone. And so it's about allowing people to have the experience that they need and releasing that karmic responsibility. So it kind of goes hand in hand, actually. The activation of the true shaman, the true healer, is releasing the Chiron stories of the woundedness of the past, the failed responsibility, like I have to make up for something. The only thing that you need to make up for or deal with is your own soul evolution right now. And so it's kind of like cut these ties. When you cut the karmic ties and you heal those feelings of responsibility, get those old stories and that shadow work out of there, then you're open to your soul group, your true soulmate group that wants to come show up, and you guys can be working together, coming together in dynamic groups, working on projects together. And so it's like a lot of light workers have been, and indigo souls have been kind of like, what huge desire to move forward in life, but no map. No, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Desire to do something specific or to bring your light to the planet. And that's exactly in a nutshell what you're supposed to do. So much easier when you come across these other people who have the same deep desires that you do. And that's what this Jupiter and Scorpio, Jupiter's the seeker, the spiritual seeker, and looking for wider knowledge. And so we're learning about this shadow. We're going underneath the shadow and claiming back the light worker, the indigo soul, the compassionate empath that a lot of these souls are struggling right now to feel like worthy of being on the planet, worthy of their gifts, and because of all these old stories of our past evolution. So these are all coming up for review and clearing, and it's time to snip with the karmic relationships, open up to the soulmate relationships, and that's going to be a lot of the healing and intention and overall energy of this Libra new moon activation today. And so that Mars opposing Chiron is what's giving us that squeeze right now, and just kind of this feeling. Now, of course, what it's also highlighting is Chiron. So Mars is really activating what's happening at the end of this month. Later, just a little later in this month, Saturn comes into an exact square with Chiron. This is another thing that's all 2017 is really about. Saturn is our taskmaster duty. Let's get down to it. Let's make something happen in the real world, but along with the rules, following the rules of this paradigm. And Chiron is like the shaman, the wounded shaman that has been oppressed over lifetimes, whatever the stories are there. And so these guys are squaring up, and it's like we don't get to go into our future evolution, until we get these shadow issues resolved and the healers come forward and claim their sense of self, their permission to be the light that they are. And so that's a lot of what this time is about, but a lot of tension around and pushing us to let go of these karmic relationships, pushing us to let go of the shadow aspects of all of the negative stories we've been clinging to from our past. And so really super potent time. Now on the 22nd, Mars moves in to Libra. And so that's going to be a shift out of that Virgo energy, kind of coming out of that opposition with Chiron. And we'll feel a little bit lighter and be able to kind of look with a little bit more clarity here at what's trying to happen and feel like we can start taking some action based on our true desires rather than on the karmic situations. So Again, Mars doesn't come, all those planets are going to come and meet up with Jupiter, but Mars, that doesn't happen until the end of the year or into 2018. So this Jupiter and Scorpio energy is really about what's moving us into 2018, the next chapter, the next year. And all these personal planets are coming up one by one to kind of get an evaluation of what the Saturn or Jupiter in Scorpio is really about. So the sun, so on the 22nd, Mars goes into Libra, and then in the last week of October, this is the spooky Halloween, the sun comes up with a conjunction of Jupiter. So the sun is our everyday identity, our understanding of things, and our way of making them our own. So we're going to be really moving into a lot of Scorpio energy at the end of this month, when the sun moves into Scorpio and comes up with Jupiter. That's right when Saturn is exactly square Chiron. So we're reconciling why we can't, our karmic debts, our deep karmic debts, the wounded healer around the wounded healer within. And so that's breaking down, going into the shadow, letting go of all of these stories. Now, a lot of the indigo souls, all the indigo souls have stories in their past lives that they're not worthy, that they don't deserve to be who they are, that somehow their light and their star nature, their star self is going to create violence or war. These are all programmed situations that have affected the human DNA by these very special star seed soul groups going through trauma past lives. So these stories are coming up, and it's like the traumas of our past and our past lives, they happened, they showed us who we really are, they no longer define us. So it's just time to let all of that go. So a hugely potent time to come into true understanding on a bigger level, to move deeper into your relationships that really matter, and also to clear up these stories that are hidden deep in your past. And that intuitive session. So consider an individual session to help with that if you're feeling stuck. And so yeah, this is the story. When the sun moves into Scorpio, then we're going to have Mercury and Jupiter there, and so it's going to be a time, end of October, November, where we're just really moving in to this Scorpio energy. And kind of, it's like stuck in the trauma. Chiron's kind of stuck in the trauma, and Scorpio is helping us go in to the underneath the veil, behind the veil, to the truth, to be able to clean up our act. So it's a really helpful energy, but we're all feeling a little bit karmically squeezed right now. And so if you are, and you're feeling kind of like, a lot of people are feeling like they've done so much work on their personal life and they thought they totally dealt with this issue, but it's back. And it's huge and it's bigger than before. But guess what? That's what you need to go down into the muck that Scorpio rules, and pull it out by the roots. You can't see the roots right now because they're covered in muck. So you got to go down into the muck and pull that issue out by the roots. And that's awesome. Often some ancestral belief systems and past life programming. And so this is all coming up for review. It's a beautiful thing, but as it comes up, you know, we have the sun and moon in Libra, and it's kind of like, oh, Libra, and Venus is at home in Libra, and it's beautiful, and everything is just kind of copacetic, and let's just keep it nice on an even keel. And Scorpio is like, oh no, there is some big waves of life, and we need to delve down. If we're going to really live, we need to delve down and get the truth. And so that's what's happening right now in a super potent time. So hang in there and know that you are going into the shadows to be released from the prisons of the subconscious stories that have been told to you or created through your past life and ancestral experiences. So on that note, let's go ahead and just tap into the powerful energy of this Libra new moon. So go ahead and just allow yourself to arrive right here, right now, in this present moment. And I'm seeing a picture of this big pull of energy of Uranus, such a powerful planet on the other side of the zodiac from all four of these planets, just like pulling, and the awakener is saying it's time to awaken. It's time to awaken to our true self. Aries is the spark of creation. And in that place of the spark of creation, there's no polarity. There's no positive or negative. There's no judgment. And so it's like we are having an opportunity to be rebirthed back into a pure state of our soul essence and drop all of the stories that we have experienced things and we've grown from them. We've been hurt from them. We've been stuck from them. But those stories are not who we are. They're just something we've experienced. And so this is a great opportunity to come back into this spark of creation, a rebirth for you right here, right now, as we step into this new chapter on the planet. So go ahead and just paying attention to the base of your spine. Allow your root chakra, just paying attention to the area of your root chakra, and feel it magnetically wants to reach down and communicate with Mother Earth. Just feel yourself, your whole lower part of your body, just relax and release and come into communication with Mother Earth, Goddess, Gaia. Just taking a few deep breaths. Just focusing on that picture of the spark of creation, of who you are in your true essence. This is what the indigos and star seeds are struggling with right now, is that they have come to this planet in this incarnation to bring forward their starburst, their light, their star power. And yet there's so many limiting beliefs around this that have been programmed through lifetimes. And so it's such a great time to right now just tap into the spark of creation that you are, your star power, your star burst potential, and allow that to exist just in one little tiny part of yourself. I'm seeing a picture of the DNA, and that our DNA has light receptors, but the DNA is also affected by our ancestral stories. And so our ancestral stories and heavy, deep traumas from the past are eclipsing the true essence of light that we are. And so just imagine that your DNA, you just receive an energy wave for healing and clearing and opening up pathways for these light receptors. This is like lightning fast recognition of the truth of who you really are. And go ahead and just receive, feeling yourself grounding into Mother Earth, just putting your root system down. The immediate reaction in your field from accepting and acknowledging the true light that you are, typically, especially in indigos, is a reaction of fear. Just jumping out of your body and releasing that connection. The fight or flight kicks in and you lose that connection to Mother Earth. So just grounding out, feeling that communication with Mother Earth, putting down deep root systems. It is safe for you to be here in your true essence on planet Earth at this time. Now, it may not have been safe in past lives, okay? But those are just stories. And so just go ahead and receive an energetic wave for root chakra recalibration to open you up to a deeper communication and permission to be on planet Earth in your true essence. Now, why would you even be here? There is a line of souls through the cosmos wanting to come to Earth. You are allowed to be here. You have the resonant frequency. Why would you not be able to bring your light? What would be the point of waiting in line to come and be a part of this amazing Earth experience and not being able to bring the truth of who you are? That is all a story that's been told around limiting our evolution, our spiritual evolution. But this story is wearing out. This is this Jupiter and Scorpio. We're going to go get to the truth of the matter, go deeper and see the lies that we've been told about who we are and come into the truth, the true essence. So go ahead and just feel that deep connection to Mother Earth and receiving that DNA activation. So this is called a light code, and it's in your DNA already, but you haven't been able to, most people have not been able to have permission to activate this light code. But because of the energy right now in the sky and what's going on, we have this perfect opportunity with this Libra new moon, all of this energy opposing Uranus, to get the gist of this. We have deep permission within our being. There's covenant contracts that have kept you from feeling safe and receiving your light. Those are just old stories, and they're just falling away. The only contract you have ultimately is with your higher self. So we're going to journey into a communication with the higher self, stepping into the spark of creation of what we are. And so just paying attention to the area of your heart, and just feel that there's a vortex there, a vortex of energy associated with the physical heartbeat, an electromagnetic field. Just imagine you can step into that electromagnetic field. It's like a vortex, like a conveyor belt, like a magnetic call into the center of you. And we're going to go deep into the center of you, as close as we can get to the truth of you at that conception point, the truth of you outside of duality. And we're going to go ahead and enter the heart space, the sacred chamber of the heart. And there waiting for you in this most special, most sacred room is your higher self. And I'd like you to go ahead and just sit down and have a talk here with your higher self, and go ahead and just enter into the room, checking your grounding cord, coming into communication with Mother Earth, just making sure that you're absolutely connected magnetically into Mother Earth as you come into this communication with your higher self. And go ahead, and does your higher self want to show you anything? They want to show you or give you a gift, show you a picture, show you their clothing, something that can help you understand who you really are in your core essence. Because most of us living a life here on planet Earth are using a tiny, tiny fraction of our light, if that. Your higher self represents your full access to 100% of your magic. And go ahead and start a communication with your higher self, and go ahead and open to any information, images, messages, gifts, pictures. Just receive. There may be healing. Go ahead and receive this mirror reflection. It might just be an energy that you feel. A lot of us are waking up to the birthright of what it means to really be spirit embodied in a 3D body. That the light and levity and joy, a huge message coming through in the collective higher selves from people involved in this activation, has to do with you finding permission to be who you really are, of feeling deserving of your own light. So there's definitely some authority, kind of contractual arrangement, covenants, where you let some sort of spiritual authority have authority over you, like some sort of false god, whether you're good or bad or did it right or wrong in different evolutions. And that's all, just throw all that out the window. Just go ahead and let all covenant, all religious covenants of all time through all your incarnations, just go ahead and see a stack of papers and contracts come up, and with the support of your higher self and your angelic healing team, go ahead and burn those contracts. There is no authority outside of your own sovereign state. There is no one to ask permission to be who you are. There's no one to apologize for some sort of failure or transgression. This is reclaiming the purity of your soul in this true essence. And that opens up communication to your higher self. And so go ahead and just open to receive downloads, information, essences, energy healing, whatever happens, just go ahead and receive and take note. There's a message coming through about who you were told that you were. The best parts about you were either rejected, criticized, or convinced to play small through this incarnation and other stories and past lives. So just go ahead, and there's a purple energy coming in from the center of the universe, this beautiful angelic healing. Go ahead and receive this purple rain, just a beautiful rain washing through your whole being, washing away all these stories about of judgment on your soul and coming back into this pure essence. So you're moving deeper and deeper into the heart. As you move deeper and deeper into the chamber of the heart, we're heading towards the tiny space of the heart. The tiny space of the heart is where there is no polarity or simply a spark. Going back to that moment before conception when you were whole and complete and with spirit and of spirit. And go ahead, and you're moving into your higher self. You're coming into a union with your higher self in the tiny space of the heart, and just step into this spark. Step into this bright light spark of creation that you are, and receive a rebirthing. Just imagine you're reincarnating with true knowledge of who you are and absolute permission to shine your light in this incarnation. And go ahead and receive this reincarnation, rebirth experience. There's the purple rain washing away all the stories of you not being good enough, you're not deserving, any stories around this judgment that is made against your pure essence. And let that all fall away as you step into the spark, into the tiny place of your heart, and breathe into that spark. Breathe into that little spark of light and let that light come around your whole being. This is activating your higher chakras, creating a body of light around you. So taking that spark and becoming that spark, becoming that ball of light that you were just before incarnating into this physical existence. Just allow yourself to rest there in this light field. In this light field, you're completely unaffected by the world around you. Light field, you have the judgment of other people against you has no bearing in your world. It just bounces off because you have agreed finally to become and to embody and realize your true essence as a star seed, as an indigo crystal, whatever the category, moving in to the reason why you're here, into embodying light, to be the levity. So the messages coming in around this is the reason you're here is to demonstrate this possibility. So you being brave enough to be in the truth of your essence is demonstrating to the people around you that they can come out of their stories too. They can shine their light too. And it's not easy being a person who gives the way, but that's who you are. And so it's time to grab a hold of this incarnation, bring your whole soul, spirit self into this potential light. All of the stories of your past, all of the stories that got you here in this evolution, bring this into your light body to be completely released, completely transformed, and just feel yourself surrounded 360 degrees by light. The light that we seek, that we want, the love we're trying to get from everyone else, is actually available within on a massive level. When you come into this truth of you and as a divine spark. And you are the emanator of this light. The light you've been trying to find through this whole life. This validation, this warmth, this love. It's coming from you. So you are now the source. So you step fully and completely into your true soul essence and just take a few deep breaths. Breathing air, light, and prana into your heart, seeing that spark of light pop out around you. And you're in your own autonomous ball of light. What does life look like moving through the world without shadow, moving through the world without a duality consciousness, without a punishing God consciousness? There's no reflection. There is just the pure essence. And just see yourself moving, light moving through life, life moving through life. You're held and supported and buoyant by allowing yourself to be in your own true essence. Just taking a few deep breaths. Each time bringing in that air, light, and prana and feeling it feed that light body around you. You're in your own autonomous ball of light. Just go ahead and receive an energy wave to let your whole body, all of your bodies, be able to calibrate to this level of permission for you as the star that you are. And life still happens around you, but you're in your ball of light. So you're going to see things that happen through the perspective. This is the radical shift of perspective available right now from your ball of light. You're going to see it from the bigger picture. You're going to be able to let the people around you have their own process of healing without trying to save them. Just taking a few deep breaths. Feeling that ball of light, feeling the strength of it grow. This is letting go of all of what you didn't get in your childhood, all the stories of not being validated as a soul spirit, all of these stories of being rejected because of your light over many lifetimes. That's all just a story. Keep you limited. Make sure that you knew who you are. Now you know who you are, and you have full permission within your being to step into your light. And just feel yourself as that autonomous light being. Imagine what life is like on it, in a human body, in a light body, moving on the earth. So there's also a spark of creation in your pineal gland. This is your way of communicating with the cosmos and your pineal chakra. And so go ahead and imagine that your heart light and your bright light, your star origin light in the center of your head are coming together. Both very important to your light body activation. So seeing this spark of light in the center of your head. So feel your own cosmic light, your own ball of light in communication with the cosmos. This is opening up your connections, your communication to your soul team. Just putting a beacon out there to all the other light workers that you feel connected with on this other level. You can find each other in person. and inspire and support and validate each other as a soul spirit level in a way that was not available in your childhood experience. Just taking a few deep breaths, putting that beacon of light out there to these soulmates that are ready to find you and work together in these exciting projects, helping each other stay in the autonomous ball of light, helping other people come in to the truth of who they are, working on dynamic projects together. Just feel yourself resting, floating. When you're in your light body, you are floating. Life, you're carried through life and through this autonomous energy field. And it's like being in a hammock of source energy or God. It's like being a child again. Just go ahead and let yourself relax and release into this total surrender to your higher self. And that you are a child of source energy, here to play, here to heal and grow and love and emanate the light. And just feel yourself being rocked in this cradle of source energy. Reborn, reincarnated again as the soul, true soul spirit that you are. In your purity, releasing all self-judgment. Just taking a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to just rest in the arms of the angels, in source, rocking in your cradle, a child of creation, safe and held, supported in this playful journey of life. And remember that this cradle is here. You can always go back and let yourself regenerate and heal and be held by the universe in your own autonomous light. But you can also walk on the earth fully embodied. So see yourself stepping out of the hammock, out of the cradle, onto Mother Earth. And as you do that, your light body is coming into this deep communication, resonant frequency with Mother Earth Gaia, inviting all of Gaia to come into a higher frequency as all of the light workers begin to activate into the truth of who they are. Feel the energy of the other light workers on the planet also grounding out their light. When you step, your light is like lightning and it pushes energy deep into the earth. This is the love of creation in union with Mother Earth Gaia. This is the sacred marriage within, between the male and the female. And you have arrived here on planet Earth in a way you didn't maybe think was even possible in this lifetime. Here you are, being the sacred marriage between the mother and the father, bringing the light of the cosmos in communication with Mother Earth Gaia, and just feel that ecstatic union as you step onto the earth in a different way than you've been able to in this incarnation, and feel yourself completely arrive, gathering up all parts of yourself and other time frequencies or dimensions, coming home right here. This is why you're here on planet Earth this time right now, to embody the light and be a demonstration of the truth. And just grounding that deep, deep into that root chakra calibration, deep into the earth, feeling yourself completely safe and held in your light, in your autonomy on planet Earth at this time. And it might feel a little wobbly. It's like a new way of being. It's like you're a toddler, you're being reborn. You have to figure out a new way of walking as a big old light body rather than a tiny little worthless piece of crap, what they told you were. And so it's going to take some getting used to. Just take a few deep breaths as you feel yourself finding the ground under your feet with your new light body. Seeing that when you breathe into your light body, the light grows around you and more light is communicated and exchanged with Mother Earth, Goddess Gaia. And feel the other light bodies on planet Earth, turning the Earth into a light body. The light just expanding little by little, growing until the negative forces and all these shadow stories have no place in our planetary evolution and just fall away. And just imagine reaching out your light body, like your arms, reaching out to your community, to these new soulmates, new old soulmates that you haven't yet met, coming into your life. Go ahead and begin to complete your journey, just taking your time, spending this beautiful time in your light body and your cradle and your rebirth experience, but gradually coming to your everyday regular awareness, into your room, into your body, bringing with you your light body. Just making your way back home into your regular day, everyday awareness, but bringing with you this peace, this truth of the bigger picture, your radical change of perspective around the fact that you are a star, bringing the cosmos to planet Earth. It's all you need to worry about. And you don't even need to worry about it. It's happening. Activation has occurred. So just taking a few deep breaths, becoming aware of your physical body, wiggling your fingers and toes and coming back into the room, into your awareness. As you're ready, staying in the peace, bringing the peace with you into your everyday awareness. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Well, thanks for journeying with me. What a powerful to experience the truth of who you were at that spark of potential, and then coming in to this shadow world and all these stories to work through, to come back, climb back up and claim that cosmic potential, and then bringing that to share with Mother Goddess Gaia. It's a beautiful feeling, this ecstatic, exuberant joy that is our birthright. And so that this is the work of the light worker, to be the light, not to go heal anyone or to take away anybody's pain or to try to convince someone to come out of their trauma mindset. This is just the only job you have. And it's the most important thing you've ever done. And you're super excited about it. You've prepared for lifetimes. And now is the time. So congratulations on coming to planet Earth. Just be gentle and careful with yourself as you adjust to your light body and this new autonomy available to you. So thanks so much for joining me for this live activation for the Libra new moon. I'm Adrienne Elise, and until next time, namaste.